Golden State has this little magical time where they just start snowballing you just randomly. It's
Especially
usually
in the Chase Center.
Yeah, at home.
Often to close out quarters or halves, you know. Yeah.
I think even in the whole third quarter, they just come out. Steve Kerr makes these adjustments.
They're amazingly coached.
Yeah. How can the Celtics keep up with that? That will decide the series for me.
So last week, the Eastern Conference Finals sat at 2-1 Miami, and since then the Celtics went on to close it out in 7. I think all three of us watched that game last night. It was a very entertaining game. The Heat made that push there at the end. Man, Jimmy had a chance right there at the end. That three, that was.
It was a bad shot.
You think it was a bad shot?
I think it was a bad shot. I think with Horford backpedaling like that and Jimmy Butler coming down on him, he at least could have gotten to the free throw line.
Horford has moved his feet really well on defense, and Jimmy was wide open. The Celtics have a stifling half-court defense.
It was a Westbrook shot.
Oh, I disagree. He's been
making Jimmy's not Westbrook, and he's
been making those all series long. If he would have made that, he would have been the hero of the series.
But he wasn't even really close. I don't think it was a good decision. I think he should.
I
think he should have driven at full speed, and there's no way they don't blow the whistle.
If you're a Heat fan, there's no way you can blame Jimmy for that. He was the only reason they were in the game to begin with.
Just looking at it objectively, I think it was the wrong decision.
Fair enough.
Bam, I think, had a pretty good game, but everyone else on the team was, pardon my pun, MIA. Honestly, like, nobody showed up to help. Jimmy was carry mode all series. He had his backpack on. Bam showed up here and there, but man, Horford really sunned the Heat on defense. It was kind of crazy.
I know, he was amazing at the hoop. We were remarking about that when we were watching the game. He was just like defending the hoop like as perfectly as he can for a big man.
Totally.
And can we just take a minute and say, how much is Lowry going to be on the floor in the game? I'm so sick of seeing that pudgy dude on the floor flopping. He's worse than Marcus Smart with that.
That's a competition for the ages, I think. I think Marcus Smart could win a few Oscars, honestly. He's got some very cringeworthy performances in the past with flopping. But, I mean, when you have a flop battle and both sides are at it, you know, everyone else was kind of playing hard and playing to win. And, I mean, they were both playing to win too, but to the refs' side. The refs weren't that bad, I don't think.
I thought they were worse in Game 6.
Right.
Game 6, the end of it, my goodness, that was a disaster as far as the referees go.
There were a couple of times in Game 7 where I was thinking, like, if I was a Miami fan, I'd be pretty upset right now. Yeah. But, you know, that just happens in every game. Like, they didn't lose the game because of the refs.
Do you guys think Miami would have won if Tyler Hero was healthy? Was he the difference maker?
I think they could have had a better chance because they would have had someone else who could get a shot.
Yeah,
like I felt like they didn't have anyone other than Jimmy who could get a shot, get his own shot. Oladipo tried, but he's too small.
Listen to this: the Heat averaged less than 100 points per game in the series. You don't think a Jimmy Neutron-shaped head guy could have helped out there? Duncan Robinson, man. Nobody was really locking down defense last night. I mean, the Celtics were missing shots. Yes, they only scored 100 points, but Marcus Smart was left alone about 4 times in the last minute for threes, and he wasn't hitting them.
He almost shot him out of the game with those. That was crazy.
Yeah, Duncan Robinson should have been put in the game. Spoelstra should have tried it out because you know that guy can hit threes. The Heat could not score. Nobody on the Heat could help.
Man, that Celtics, I think part of that is the Heat just not hitting shots, but I think a bigger part of it is the Celtics defense. They've been doing that all series long. Giannis was the only one who was able to score in the series before that, too. So going on to that, does anyone think now, after watching that performance, can the Celtics win the finals? Or are we all still... Is there a chance? Are you telling me there's a chance?
Dubs in 6. I think they have a chance to win a game or a couple games.
Really? You think it's going to be pretty one-sided?
I agree with your overall prediction of Dubs in 6, but I don't know if it's as open shut. I mean, the Warriors are a different animal. I've said it about every time we've talked about them. But the Celtics provide a matchup problem with their big wings. It's kind of big wings versus small guards.
That's why last week I was saying Wiggins is going to be the most valuable player. And let me explain that just a little bit.
He's going to be important.
What I'm saying is he's going to be one of the most important players on the floor because he's going to be having to guard Tatum or Brown the whole series. And Curry is going to be matched up with the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. And I know, like, these matchups, they're a little bit overblown a lot of the times. It's more about team defense and switching pick and rolls and all that kind of stuff. But still, it's going to be a lot on Wiggins' shoulders. He's going to have to score and defend, like, the whole game, basically. Unless Clay turns the clocks back and he's, like, the best defender in the league like he was a few years ago.
Yeah, you know,
Nobody has anything to say.
Well, I've heard a lot of people saying that, you know, the Warriors, like, who do they have that can guard X? You know, they've been saying that in every round, and they keep winning anyway.
It is team defense.
It's
more
team
than...
defense. They're the best team defenders in the league, and
also you have Gary Payton II coming back. That is another factor. He's one of the best. He's one of their best defenders that they have, actually.
So I don't think that Curry's gonna have to expend very much energy on defense in this series, and I think he's just going to come out gunning. He has had kind of a down year overall, but you know that legacy talk, that annoying legacy word is in his head, right? Yeah. Everybody says, oh, you don't have a finals MVP. He's got every other award that you can imagine besides, you know, defensive player of the year. I'm not arguing he's a lockdown defender, but that doesn't matter in voters' minds. You know, if he goes out there and averages 30 points a game and they win, he will win it. It doesn't matter if Wiggins, I don't think Wiggins is going to stop Tatum, you know. He might slow him down, but I don't know. That's a tall task. We've seen it. Tatum just is blossoming even more in front of our eyes this whole playoffs.
And even if he is able to lock down Brown or Tatum for a little bit, you got Brown on the other side of the floor. It's going to be very interesting. It's I've kind of looked at it as like a defensive versus offensive matchup, but actually if you look at it, the Celtics were number 1 this season in defensive efficiency. They had they allowed 106.2 points per 100 possessions. And the Warriors were number 2 with 106.6 points per 100 possessions. So they're like neck and neck, actually, as far as defense goes. They're both off, like you said, like Boston is blossoming offensively. Golden State has obviously got all the scorers in the world. So
I think what it comes down to, Golden State has this little magical time where they just start snowballing you, just randomly. It's
especially
in
the Chase Center.
Yeah, at home.
Often to close out quarters or halves, you know. Yeah.
I think even in the whole third quarter, they just come out. Steve Kerr makes these adjustments.
They're amazingly coached.
Yeah, how can the Celtics keep up with that? That will decide the series for me. Can they withstand the bombs? Can they score enough in those little? Golden State can do that against anybody. They can go on those crazy 3-point rolls. Clay can hit 4 in a row. Like, if the Celtics can hang on during those, they can be competitive. But if not, I mean, I think it's going to be Warriors in 6, but I think the Celtics do provide some matchup problems. Draymond can maybe help with Tatum and stuff like that, but Jaylen is a big guy. Poole's not going to be helping them on defense. Yeah. So we'll see how it goes.
I think one thing to look out for, though, is that I don't think that the Warriors have played anything like Boston's defense in the playoffs this year. I mean, the Mavericks, they breezed through them. They were never a defensive threat. The most trouble that they had in this playoffs was against the Grizzlies, who did play defense, and they've struggled in a few games. They were, what did they get blown out by, like 50 in one game? And they had several games where they just like scraped by on Curry flops at the end. You saw that one where. So I don't know. I don't think they've faced a defense like the Celtics, and I don't know if they're really going to be able to throw those continuous bombs against a team that plays hard defense for 48 minutes. It'll be interesting to see.
What's your prediction?
Yeah, am I sensing our Celtics homer is going to predict
where's my green
Celtics
hat
to win? Transformers hat's pretty good.
Man, I'm going to stick with my Warriors prediction just because that was my prediction. 7. I'm going to say it's going to be a great finals. I honestly could see either team winning, but I think it's going to be closer than you guys think. I think that it's probably going to go 7 with the Warriors' experience. Just
it'll be contested. It'll be hotly contested. Totally. Who do you think's going to win? Let us know below. See you next week. Like, comment, subscribe.